Alright, Bonehawk, so this video is all about another Ed Boon tweet 2 days before we're supposed to be getting the gameplay reveal. Shakes fist and how dare you. For those that aren't on Twitter, I'm trying my best to keep you all in the loop on what's going on and what's happening. Twitter can be a pretty toxic place, so I don't blame you for not being there, but I'm bringing you the news that we see. And today, we have a teaser from Ed Boon about Mortal Kombat 4 characters. Let me share the image here.
Accept your death.
So it says, some making their way back into action. So I feel like we should talk a little about this. Now we can already, so here's the thing, right? Like, Boon is a massive troll, but he never really out and out lies, so this is an interesting way to do it because he could be like, yep, SubZero and Scorpion, they're making it back. I mean, what else did you think, right? Like, no. But for the sake of this video, let's just dive a little bit deeper into the possibilities of who could come back here. So, obviously, if we eliminate the ones like Scorpion, SubZero, Raiden, Liu Kang, we know they're in the game. Johnny Cage, they confirmed him already. So then we're left with a couple others. Kai, in my opinion, has the most potential. Like, out of so many 3D era characters, there's really not much to Kai. They just kind of like made him like a Shaolin monk, and that's his thing, and you don't really learn too much other than that. It's just, that's who he is. I feel like they did give him some pretty cool moves in Armageddon. It's just such a shame he was such a terrible character. Like, I think he's actually the worst character in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. So, but some of his movesets are really cool and could make him like a really cool zoning character. So if they did him like that, I'm not going to talk like in this area of cameos or anything here because we don't really know what cameos are. I'm just going to talk like more about fully fledged out characters here. So yeah, Kai, I think if they do bring him back, I don't think it's very likely, but if they do, they basically have a clean slate. They can just do whatever the frick they want to do with them. Next one here is Shinnok, and honestly, I think we'd be surprised to see Shinnok return. He was kind of like the big bad guy in Mortal Kombat X, so I really don't think he comes back as a fully fledged out character, and there's not really much more they can do with him. Like, it seemed like he was kind of just Shang Tsung in a different skin, you know? Like, instead of the ground eruption, he has the hell sparks. Instead of the soul steel, he has the imposter, you know? Like, it just felt like, okay, Shang Tsung's not here, so let's throw in Shinnok, you know? Oh, surprise! Well, what an original moveset, you know? I mean, he was really powerful in that game, don't get me wrong, but if I had to guess, I'd say we're not going to see him in this game. Reptile, however, I would be extremely shocked if we didn't see Reptile in this game, because there's just so many iterations of Reptile they could do. They could do like the full, like the MK4 version of Reptile, which maybe Boon's kind of hinting at. They're going here. I personally think this is one of his worst designs. The only one worse than that was the Reptile from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. I hated that. I hated everything about that. I did not like that at all. So I think like more of a humanoid Reptile, kind of like MKX, and then also having like a human version of Reptile as well. I think those are probably two of his best designs, in my opinion. Reptile fans out there, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, roast me in the comments. That's what we do around here, so. Also, if you want to keep up on all the Mortal Kombat 1 news, and you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, because, yeah, we post as soon as we know about stuff. I'm trying to balance a full-time job at the same time, so I talk about stuff as it kind of comes up. So, anyways, slight little plug there. Next one is Jax. Jax is kind of a staple of the series, so I would be surprised if Jax didn't come back in some aspect, even if it's like a DLC, although it just feels weird to me for Jax to be DLC. Like, I just can't see him not being base roster. He's been base roster in all the Mortal Kombat NRS games. Most of the other ones, I think there's 1 or 2 games he sat out. He even had his own like spin-off game back in the day. So I mean, I really don't think we'll be seeing Jax. Alright, we won't be seeing Jax. Whoa, I caught myself on that one. Did you see what I did there? Reiko. This game is this character's time to shine. He was in the comics. They talk about him in the MKX story. He's apparently super important and everything. I know we're in a different timeline here, but like, he's such a cool character design-wise. His original story is kind of he just kind of wants to be Shao Kahn, but like in the comics and stuff, he's kind of a badass. And I think, again, with super original moves and stuff, that especially seeing him in Armageddon and stuff, I think he could be really fun in this game if done properly. And there's, again, not really a clean slate, but there's so much you could go for us with the Reiko Accords and that kind of thing. This was a character that I would be surprised if we didn't see in Mortal Kombat 1. Jarek, unless there's something that I absolutely forgot, I'd be shocked to see Jarek return. Like, just for some reason they thought they would do a Kano clone, I guess. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know much about Jarek. He does not interest me whatsoever. He has that really cheesy, like, Mortal Kombat 4 ending where he just runs off a cliff. It's dumb. I don't see him returning at all. Like, he would be a red herring in this situation for sure. Tanya's interesting because she's a fan favorite, and there's also some talk about, like, the Katana and Melina scene in the trailer, that being like Edenia and not Outworld. So it's a possibility that Tanya could be part of that part of the story, and at this point I would be surprised if she wasn't main roster. I think that she'll probably be on the main roster, and yeah, so there'll be some tie-in. My prediction as of right now is Katana and Melina are in Edenia. I don't know where Melina came from. That's a question that's up in the air for a lot of people with that theory. But yeah, I think that we will see Tanya, possibly Sindel as well. Fujin, I think, is going to sit this one out. Being DLC and like a member of the Aftermath story, I mean, I suppose if the Aftermath story does tie into this somehow, but Ed Boon is already on the record saying that it is its own standalone story. It's not a continuation of Aftermath. So I think unless there's some tie-in there, I don't think we'll see Fujin. I think his time to shine was in MK11 Aftermath, and we won't see him in MK1. So Quan Chi, in Mortal Kombat X, Quan Chi didn't really do much. Like, he came out and he looked like he was going to be like this big bad guy, and then like one of your first cutscenes is just like stomping on his nutsack, and like you can mash that too. And then at the end of the story, he gets his head cut off. Spoilers, whatever. We're past that now. And he's always just kind of been like a servant to like a bigger bad guy. So I don't really know what they could do with him that would be original enough for him to really return. So my guess is going to be that we don't see Quan Chi. Probably sits this one out. And maybe we see him in whatever the next one is, MK2. Maybe we never see him again. I don't know. Doesn't matter. He got his nuts stomped. It was a quick time event. Like, come on. Like, how serious are you gonna take this character? And then finally, Sonya Blade. It doesn't really feel like a Mortal Kombat game without Sonya. I don't really care about Sonya, if I'm being honest. I've never really cared about her design. I hated Ronda Rousey as her. She is a staple of the franchise, though. And if Johnny Cage can come back, then Sonya can come back too. So I mean, I that's another one where I would really be surprised if she didn't make the main roster. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Sonya there. Are you fucking kidding me? Of course Quan Chi's coming back. God damn it. I got you good, didn't I? Yeah, man. Our boy's coming back. The Quan Father's returning. We're going to be freaking Wu-Laying everybody. I predict that we're going to see more of Quan Chi's, like, necromancer skills. Like, he's going to be able to, like, build walls with, like, his skeletons, maybe send a minion walking towards you, kind of like Enchantress did. And they're really going to lean into that more. It's not going to be more of him, like, physically fighting you. It's going to be more of him using other things to fight with, you know? Summoning things. Maybe he has his bat back and he throws his bat. That's what I'm hoping for. And then in the story, he has no purpose but to just create chaos. Like, he's in the back. He doesn't care. He wants you to think this, even though that's not true. He sets Scorpion and SubZero against each other, same as he does in the regular story. He's just there to create absolute chaos and then come and clean up the mess when everyone's weakened, you know? I would have to say, I think Quan Chi is going to be the big bad of this game. He hasn't really had his moments. He's always kind of been, like, in the background bad guy, like secondary bad guy, but never like the big bad, you know? And that's gonna be fucking awesome. I can't wait. Oh my god, I'm hard as a rock right now. And that's it. That's my opinions on all the characters in this Mortal Kombat 4 roster that Ed Boon put out. Yeah, if you have any comments, leave them in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like because it really helps me out. And subscribe if you haven't, because I make new videos almost every single day. Hashtag Bonehawks and all that stuff, and we'll see all you Bonehawks in the next video.
Accept your death.